You have to be. And now let's actually just focus now. The regular season is months away, but it's never too soon to actually talk about maybe predictions or goals for the team. Obviously, a goal is always we want to make the playoffs, but what are some goals that if you're on the Pacers or a fan of the Pacers, I should say, what are some things you want to see going into this season?
Yeah, I mean, in that locker room, the goal has to be make the play-in. And as a rebuilding team, that has been cemented into the NBA as of yesterday, as this is going to be something moving forward, the play-in. If you're in that locker room, it has to be play-in is the goal. Do I necessarily think that that's a realistic goal sitting on the outside? I don't. I think for that franchise, the goal this year should one be see the young guys begin to progress, see Tyrese Halliburton take a massive step in his third season, and see these other guys take big steps. I think the other thing on the flip side, almost as big as getting talent in this league, is finding your identity as a team. And for Indiana, what is their identity going to be? Is it going to be an incredible offense, lockdown defense, a really fast-paced team? What is it going to be? Indiana needs to figure that out and try to begin to master that craft. That's what all NBA, successful franchises do. What is Indiana's, what's their makeup going to be? What is their,
Yeah, and I feel like they have a good core. Even if they get DeAndre Ayton, that's a great foundation to start with, but they have really nice pieces to where they can start to mold that identity, regardless of who their big guy is. Picking up Benedict Mathurin in the draft, you got a guy who's confident, who's going to, D up, he's going to shoot the three, he's going to cut off, the ball. He's a good player. And then you put him next to Chris Duarte, who's going to be a second-year player, but he's like 25, so he might as well be like a 5-year player at this point. So you have nice pieces. You mentioned Jalen Smith, who can stretch the floor. Also, Isaiah Jackson is a very young, athletic big who in the Summer League game today, he had a fast break dunk, and he damn near took off from the free throw line. It was nuts. This dude's crazy athletic. So they have good pieces. I agree that they should aim for the play-in. I don't necessarily know if they'll make it to the play-in. But what's the harm in trying to get into the play-in? I mean, you might as well. Yeah. Because tanking, you don't always know what's going to happen. So you much rather see progression of your team than just going backwards.
Yeah, I think the play-in is such a great feature that the NBA has added. And I also want to see Benedict Mathurin. I want to see him be an all-rookie team. I think this is a rookie class that we hear often about Paolo or Chet, Jabari Smith or Keegan Murray, but this is a chance for him to kind of shine among that group. So that has to be a huge point for Indiana, that development of these younger players, regardless of, like you say, Christian, who's going to be at that center position. I do think if DeAndre Ayton comes into town in a sign and trade, I do see this Pacers team having a chance at being the 10th seed. It would take a bit, but I do think it's possible for the Pacers to be a 10th seed.
This is interesting. So give me the teams that you think Indiana is going to be better than, because I'm sitting on the other end and I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
But I would love to hear. Let's hear it.
Yeah.
Fight for me.
No, let me fight for you. No, I'm not fighting for you. I'm fighting for the people of Indiana.
This is if they get DA.
This is if they get DA. If they don't get DA, I don't see them making the play-in.
All right.
This is with DA.
Paint me the picture, bro.
Yeah. I close your eyes. I have my paintbrush in hand. I see them better than the Charlotte Hornets.
Yes.
Disaster of an offseason. A lot of things that, as an organization, you can't control. I see them being better than Charlotte, unless Charlotte can turn some things around.
Wow.
I see them better than the New York Knicks.
Whoa, Randall? You don't think Randall's going to ball out?
And there ain't no stopping Obi Toppin. I do like them better than the New York Knicks. I like them better than the Washington Wizards. The Bradley Beal signing, I can't even put words into it. Just nothing that Washington's doing is making a lot of sense.
Rui Hachimura.
Rui, of course. No, I like him better than Rui.
I would agree.
This is where it gets a little interesting.
Yeah.
They need some things. So they have the two teams ahead of them. worse. And then, of course, Charlotte was the 10 seed last year, better than Charlotte. That also means they need 2 teams below them to be worse, and that is Detroit and Orlando. I think Detroit is going to give them more fits than Orlando. Orlando, I think, is still very much in a development phase. So, Pacer fans, I think that race for the 10 seed, it's going to be with a couple of teams, but I think you're going to want to watch Detroit if you want to make it into that play-in.
That fight with Detroit's going to be tough because that team is so well built. I would say, I mean, you look at the Eastern Conference playoffs every year, even the West, just in the NBA, there's always a team or two that fall out. There's always going to be that happening. So, you never know what could happen. And it is.
Who knows with Brooklyn?
Who knows with Brooklyn? What's happening with KD and Kyrie? It's a possibility. And I like that you have that take. I wouldn't put money on it, but I love that you do, Scott.
Yeah, that's interesting take. And I feel like you're kind of downplaying what Orlando can do this year. You bring in a guy like Paolo Banchero. You have Jonathan Isaac coming back.
Franz Wagner.
Yeah, maybe. But they were like one of the better teams offensively after the All-Star break. So if they're all clicking and they're all healthy, I don't know. Magic could make some noise to where they're also putting their number in for the play-in.
All these teams are so young too, and so it's going to be that game of development, just kind of learning your identity, things like that. All 3 of those teams are in that stage, Orlando, Detroit, and Indiana, where it's figuring out your identity, what we're building around, and what the heck we're going to do to improve moving forward. So it's really exciting stuff. If you're a Pacers fan, This is an exciting time. I know it's in the middle of a rebuild, but rebuilds can still be exciting because you're looking towards the future. So with that being said, alongside Trevor Mickelin and Christian Dennis and our good producer, Andy, I'm Scott Ayers. We say so long for now, and we'll see you next week.
Merry Miracle! Hey, thanks for watching. Before you leave, don't forget to like and subscribe. We're the only NBA show focused on covering your favorite small market teams. Find us on all social media platforms at Small Ball Podcast.